What is going on, ladies? This is Marcia here with another episode of the Lady Strong Fitcast. And today I have two member spotlights, LSF member Chrissy and LSF member Mary. These two women lost a combined total of 35 pounds in just 12 weeks, coming off of our newest 12-week lifestyle transformation program. I am really inspired by these two women, and I hope you are too. So with that being said, get ready and let's go.
So the big question is this: how were two women who didn't cheat and purchase a gym franchise model, how were they able to spread their mission and purpose by empowering and transforming hundreds of women's lives through fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability with a micro gym business model of women only? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. We are Lady Strong Fitness.
Ladies, how are you today?
Good, thanks.
Good. So before we begin, I'd like to always start each episode while telling a little bit about yourself. I know who you are, but for our audience that may be watching or listening in today, I want you to kind of paint a picture for everybody. Tell a little bit about yourself. Mary, we'll start with you.
Okay, so I am an attorney, and I work for the federal government, so I'm a civil servant, and I can have a very hectic schedule. My relationship with fitness has been on again, off again for the last 20 years or so. And I've been with Lady Strong for the last 5.5 months.
I love that. And Chrissy, how about you?
I'm married with 2 kids, and I work full time, but from home. My fitness journey has been all over the board too. So high school, I did some sports, took a break when, I got married and had kids, a little rough, did some triathlons, and then, into running, and then found you guys to help balance that running and strength training that I need to get stronger to continue to be healthy.
I love that. What I love about the both of you guys being busy women with professions, with kids, you still manage to find time for yourself. And this is what we always hear when we sit down with women is, oh, I don't have time. But I applaud the both of you because you guys find the time, you make the time to invest in yourself, regardless of how busy your schedules are. So kudos to both of you guys. Now, the reason why I decided to entitle this episode, and I'm happy to announce we have launched a new program. It's called our 12-week lifestyle transformation program. And both of you went through that program and received phenomenal results, and you guys did it together. And I want to talk about that. Mary, do you want to share your overall experience within the program thus far? And then Chrissy will go from there.
Sure. So I started the program having completed the 6-week transformation challenge, and I had made some significant progress that I hadn't expected even in that challenge. And so I really, when this next program was presented to me, I decided that, let's see what will happen and how far I can take it. Because by then I had started losing weight, I had started feeling stronger, and I really felt like, it's time for me to take more steps, to take more responsibility for my fitness, which I will say, as a whole, what I've learned about myself is I kind of abandoned responsibility for my own fitness and let it come to me as it did, or leave me as it did, and really didn't give it a lot of thought. So I decided to join the program and see, like, how much could I take responsibility for, and what does that commitment mean to my life, and how do I work it in and then keep it going? So that's basically why I joined it.
I like that. How about you, Chrissy?
Oh, all those same reasons. Exactly like spot on. I got injured, and I knew after all the PT I went through, I had to get stronger. Like, I couldn't put off the strength training anymore. It had to become a priority. And, the 6 weeks transformation right until the 12, it was all the same reasonings. Like, I just wanted to see how much further I could push myself and get myself in the right place. So, yeah.
I love that. Now, here comes the good stuff. Let's talk about the meat and potatoes. Mary, let's talk about your results from when you first started versus completing the 12-week lifestyle transformation program.
So from when I first started to, meaning the first 6 weeks, or the first?
Yeah. So we'll start
Okay.
what was your lifestyle like results like when you first came into us versus I want you to paint like milestones from when you
Okay.
start the 6 weeks, ending the 6 weeks, starting the 12 weeks, and ending the 12
Okay.
weeks.
So first 6 weeks, I actually, I didn't pay much attention to my nutrition at all. What I did was eat what I wanted, eat what was presented to me. Because in my household, my husband had really taken a lot of the responsibility for grocery shopping and preparing our meals. And because both of those things are so time consuming, I just accepted that and took that where it was, and figured I was doing okay. I mean, we weren't eating terribly, but I figured I was doing okay. So in the first 6 weeks, I really learned how to reshape what I ate. But I had to, kind of take ownership of the grocery shopping and some of the meal prep in order to make sure that I was getting what I needed in this different format, while my family around me kind of adjusted. So that was a big deal for me. And I really, it was very time consuming the first week or two until I learned to build in some efficiencies and really figured out how it worked into my schedule. But as I did it, I just started immediately losing weight. And I'm 54 years old. I really had bought into the notion that once you reach a certain age as a woman, you can't really lose weight, that it's too much of a struggle. And if you're losing weight, you can't keep it off. And so once it started working for me, I was just all in. And it got easier and easier because I started developing strategies for it. So those first 6 weeks, I lost, I think, about 9 pounds.
Yes.
Yeah. And by then I built up some routines that helped me. And then, my family started eating better because they started, when they were shopping, they would get the things that I had been buying because they knew I needed them. And then they started eating them too. So everybody in the household has started eating better. And I haven't taken on all of the meal prep responsibilities. So it's still been good for me to have that, I don't have to use all of my time for that, but I definitely, those are big strides that I made, not only in my own body and fitness, but my family has made as a whole.
I like that. So 9 pounds over the course of the 6 week challenge. And then when you started the 12 week, let's not talk about just the weight loss. I know you gained some muscle and you lost some body fat. Let's talk about that, because that's really important, especially for women who, once they reach like that 40 mark, muscle mass is really important, right? Because at that point, our estrogen gets low, and our body fat starts to increase, but you started to decrease that body fat and increase your muscle mass. So let's talk about your results there for the 12 weeks.
Right. So I'm so sorry. I didn't look back at my stats on the muscle mass increase, but it was, in my mind, impressive. There was a couple of pounds of muscle that I gained, but at the same time, I had lost an additional 4 or 5 pounds. So right now, I think my net loss is 15 pounds from the 6 week through the 12 week to now. So although my weight loss had slowed down, I also had to add a lot more protein into my diet to support the building of the muscle, and also just to support the volume of exercise that I was doing. And I am not a particularly large person to start with, and my weight is not outside the healthy weight range. It's just the body composition needs some work. So we slowed down some of that weight loss goal and really focused on the muscle, building the muscle, but I'm still continuing to lose weight.
I love that. Chrissy, before I get to you, I got one more question for Mary. You talked about strategies and routines. Share some of those strategies and routines that you were talking about.
So some of the strategies and routines obviously were, building time into my schedule for the workouts. Obviously those will jump out at anyone, I think, right immediately, as I have to get to the studio to do the workout and I have to make the time to do it. But also I had to make the time to plan a week's worth of healthy meals, and get to the store to get the food I needed to have those healthy meals and snacks accessible for the entire week. I know some people have different time schedules for how they plan, but then on Sundays I could prepare mini meals for lunches throughout the week. I knew what I was going to eat for breakfast every day. I had a variety of snacks that I prepared or bought pre-made that were ready to go, so I could take them to work with me if I needed, so that I could grab them really quickly if I was having a really busy day. And then just, having conversations with my husband who, if he's doing shopping, well, what are we getting low on? What do we need? And then what is he going to do with his meal prep? So that was one strategy that, once I got used to it, now it's just part of our routine. Some other strategies that I had to work on were getting enough sleep. So that was another thing is, obviously you're much more successful and productive in all of these things if your body gets the rest it needs to do what it needs to take care of itself. And that is something I have neglected for the last couple of decades. So that is I'm still working on it. And, to get 8 hours of sleep means you have to get in bed on time, to get up on time. And then, what do you have to do leading up to that? So I make myself checklists for the week and goals, and then I write out a schedule. Some people don't need to be that specific, but if I write it down, I do it. Yeah. If I don't write it down and it's in my head, I sometimes miss the mark.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And I was doing the math in my head to sum things up from the time you started the 6 weeks to 12 weeks, that's 15 weeks there. So essentially you were losing almost a pound per week, which is amazing. I mean, that's phenomenal in such a short span of time. So kudos to you. Now, Chrissy, let's talk about you. I want to talk about your results. Same thing. Paint a timeline for me from the time you started leading up until now.
Okay. So I started at the beginning of December with the 6 weeks. And I never went in thinking, okay, I'm going to lose a ton of weight like that. That wasn't my main goal. My main goal was just to get my strength balanced and get that focus. I wasn't expecting to get much out of the nutrition portion of it at all. So I was really shocked when all of that started like clicking. So I started the 6 weeks in December, made it through the holidays, like staying within like certain budgets and stuff with the macros and everything. And then to fold that in and have the continued help of Paula from the 6 weeks to the 12 weeks, then adding in Sarah for the 12 weeks to come up with mini plans and mini goals on how to continue keeping my nutrition in check, keeping my confidence in check, just really pulled it all together. I mean, overall, from the beginning of December to now, I'm down about 20 pounds.
Oh my God.
But again, like that number never mattered to me, but it's just, I just wanted that confidence. I wanted my strength back. And just adding in the nutrition blew my mind. Also, I'm doing that macro master class with Brittany. So getting the information from that group and that group of ladies and all of Brittany's tips, it's just coming together full circle. So it's great that it's going to be all sustainable, which was ultimate goal.
100%. Mm-hmm. That's a total of 35 pounds, ladies, between just two of you. And I'll be honest, you guys you're not like big women. You're normal sized women. I mean, and it's astonishing. It inspires me. And you mentioned something, Chrissy. You said something at the beginning with nutrition, it clicked. What was it that clicked for you? Share that.
Well, one, not under fueling. I always had an issue with that, during running and other training things that I did, never eating before I exercised and that. So adding those little things in, making sure I'm getting all the protein that I need. I often cut that, the carbs, different mindset with that. Just the mindset overall of just food works for you, not against you. So nothing is off the table. You can fit everything in. You just got to plan for it. Plan for the fun foods, plan for the healthier foods. It's all just there to fuel you one way or another. So
you could have said that better, because I think people have a lack of education and they think that in order to get in the best shape, I have to be on this diet. And that's not what we're teaching you guys. We want, like you said, Chrissy, something that is sustainable even after you're done. So thank you so much for sharing your results. Now, I'd like to end each episode talking about any advice that you may have for anyone that's listening in, if they're a member or non-member. Chrissy, I want to start with you. Any advice that you may have for any women that's listening in today?
Do it for yourself. Make yourself the priority. Get your mindset right. Baby steps, it doesn't happen overnight. small steps equals sustainable goals in my mind. So, and this was proven throughout both programs that I've been in. So just those little tweaks make big changes.
I love
Keep
that.
going, like, and
Yes.
don't stop. Don't stop if you fall backwards. Like, it's okay.
You hear a lady,
Keep yourself-
Chrissy says, keep going, don't stop. How about you, Mary?
Yeah.
I would echo everything that Chrissy said, and I think it's particularly important with regard to setbacks. You know, I've had setbacks, and which brought me to Lady Strong. I injured myself trying to train for the marathon, and I was off running for several weeks, and I knew my deficiency was strength training as well. But you know, as I've progressed through this process, I have had setbacks. I have injured myself, you know, for whatever reasons, and I've had to take time back. I had to scale back what I was doing, or take some time to rest. You know, they weren't severe injuries, but give myself that rest time and that recovery time and come back. And it really wasn't a setback, because giving my body that opportunity to come back was really what I needed. And I came back and kept going. And I think a lot of people stop with their setbacks. And that was something Chrissy mentioned, that, you know, if you are feeling like something has stopped you or gotten in your way and you just need that little push, this is a perfect program, and it will help you monitor how much you need to scale back and when it is good to come back. And obviously, you know, we don't get medical advice from the team, but for me, just being able to have the coaches talk me through it and show me what I needed to do, where I was, exactly where I was at, was enough to carry me through.
I like that. So, and I want to ask the both of you guys, because again, we entitled this like accountability. Can you say without a doubt, and please, there's no right or wrong answer, could you guys, I'm sure you could have done it without each other, but how better was it having each other there each session with not only Coach Paula, but the both of you for PT twice per week? Was that helpful and beneficial? And if so, why?
Oh, it definitely was beneficial. Like, just knowing Mary from the past, and knowing her story, and it was just amazing to have that little push, that little cheer, that, you know, yeah, you could do this, like, keep going, like, one more, like, you got it. And then laughing too, when things just didn't go right. Like, the laughter has to be there, the goofiness, the fun, you got to find the fun. Yeah. And Mary definitely brings the fun. So
I love
it's great.
How about you, Mary?
So, yeah, I would say that having Chrissy there and just watching her get stronger and see the steps she made motivated me, more than if I was in there. Even with, you know, if I was in there alone, I would just get into my own head and go like, well, what's wrong with my form? Why can't I do this? And just watching Chrissy go like, oh, these things are possible. And if they're not possible for me today, or if I'm having an issue that I need to correct, I can correct it and I can get there, because I can see it actually happening to someone else. So because we're not at the same strength level, we don't do the same, you know, the same weights when we're lifting. And I have, you know, issues with my form on certain things. I can watch Chrissy and go, wow, she has gotten, like, her form has changed from this to this. And I can get myself there if I just keep, you know, working. And it's a good motivator, because sometimes I think when you're, you know, a coach does a demo and they do something so perfectly and you're like, well, your body does that, but mine doesn't. But going through it with someone, you can actually see where you can see someone in that transformation. And that is, I think that really does keep it going. And it was a lot more fun to have somebody with me.
That's so cool. You guys are amazing. Seriously. I'm still astonished on the 35-pound weight loss, just the two of you in such a short span of time. And not only that, the progress you made with your strength, the confidence, like you mentioned at the beginning. And this is just the beginning. Like, it hasn't been that very, you know, not even a year. You know what I mean?
No.
So congratulations, lady. I'm really excited for your future. I'm really excited to see you guys pass the finish line with your marathons or whatever you do decide to accomplish, and get over those humps with your injuries. So again, this is just the beginning. The best is yet to come. So thank you so much for the both of you for tuning in. Ladies, thank you so much for tuning in of another episode of Lady Strong Fitcast. Have an amazing day, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.